Sports Talk Worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now the brother been gone a day or two, under the weather. When you're under the weather nowadays, you know what I mean? You don't know what it could possibly be. So I'm waiting on my test right now, matter of fact. But I think I'm alright, just weak a little bit. So I'm like, man, this is a lot of stuff in the boxing world, what you could talk about. But I'm like, man, I ain't got time to be doing 4 or 5 videos right now. I'm about to go lay down and chill. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all of this in one damn video, right? And we're going to figure out, we'll talk about, normal stuff. Hypocrisy, corruption in boxing. That's basically what we focus on lately. And here's a few examples of it, right? Just a few examples. We already know that we don't like this franchise title in boxing. It's confused everybody. It's basically a title, which I'm going to just be straight up with you right now because I ain't in the mood or have the energy to be trying to beat around the bush. It's a title that we ain't giving no brothers, okay? And how to keep people away from brothers. Good, undefeated fighters. That's what's going to happen. It started because Canelo ain't fighting Charlo. Neither's Lomachenko going to fight Devin Haney. We can keep them up out of here some kind of way. That's what the franchise title is. The regular title was the title just like we're going to give it to another dude so we can get some sanctioning fees. We got a whole bunch of sanctioning bodies out there, 4 or 5, and I told you it's going to be 10 soon. 4 are there, which we care about, right? But I told you the IBO and the IBA going to come through the back door. That'll give us 6. You put regular franchise interim on that, we're already up at 9, and I'm probably forgetting 1 right now. Because I just don't feel good enough to think of it right now. But that's just way too many champions in one division, right? So we're talking about, let's go to the middleweight slash super middleweight division where you got Billy Joe Saunders, WBO champion, right? He was telling Demetrius Andrade, hey, come on up, right? Come on up to 168, vacate your title at 160, which I told you Billy, your boy Demetrius Andrade is not going to do or shouldn't do, and he's answered the day after that, telling them, no, I ain't vacating, but I'm going to come up and get you, if that's cool. Since then, what have we heard? Crickets, right? Nothing's going to happen there. Just like I said, nothing's going to happen there. Similar to Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz answering Dillian White about 3-4 weeks ago, and nothing has happened now. Now you got nothing happened there. Dillian White talking about Povetkin now all of a sudden, like, hey, let's hurry up and get the Povetkin fight. He could have had Ortiz. He wanted to have Ortiz. So, Andrade answers him back, and Billy Joe Saunders hasn't said nothing. We know Billy Joe Saunders has scandals, and has been doped before a time or two, but the ones that are dope, they seem to be the ones that are, making these moves and telling people what to do. Speaking of telling people what to do, we got mandatory challengers telling champions what to do, right? This flips how this mandatory goes, right? You got a mandatory challenger in Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is one of the lightweight, Fab 4 they're trying to talk about right now. Teofimo Lopez got the most belts because he beat Lomachenko. Then Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, and Ryan Garcia, the Fab 4. They shouldn't have no name yet because they ain't fought each other. And they're finagling, and it's not trying to happen, right? But Ryan Garcia basically telling other people, now let me make this clear, just became the mandatory for Devin Haney. He's the mandatory for Devin Haney, but don't want to fight Devin Haney. He wants to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, which is also not an easy fight, but he feels it's easier. When he mentions somebody, he mentions Devin Haney last. Every time. But he's a mandatory for Devin Haney. He shouldn't be talking about, I'm going to fight Tank Davis and tell Devin Haney he got to fight Teofimo Lopez. Who are you to tell anybody? Instagram shouldn't have nothing to do with boxing. Right? I got Instagram followers. Good for you that you film everything you're doing and people have some kind of reason they got an interest. But the bottom line is that's what's wrong with boxing right now. What is he telling? He's a mandatory. You supposed to be fighting Devin Haney, period. Unless Devin Haney don't want it or something. Right? The mandatories are telling people what to do. Right? Now, do I have a problem with Ryan Garcia fighting Tank Davis? Hell no, not really. That's a damn good fight. If Teofimo Lopez and your boy Devin Haney fight for Undisputed, which we'll get to later, if they do, then okay, cool, we got a little tournament going on. But Ryan Garcia ain't supposed to be calling no damn shots yet. Right? Even though it's my homeboy and I love him. but he shouldn't be calling shots yet. We're talking what's right in boxing. Mandatories should be trying to fight the damn champion in their division. That's what you've been striving for. But now he's telling people what to do. Now, Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to be undisputed, right? He got the franchise title from Lomachenko, and he doesn't seem to want the title from Devin Haney. Now, we heard that he sent Devin Haney and George Kambosos, who he's trying to be fight the Australian cat. He said he sent them contracts, right? Devin Haney's contract first will be bogus, guaranteed. Second, he's going to want Kambosos. That's who he wants more, because he would have wanted Devin Haney the whole time. The reason why is if I beat Devin Haney, I'm undisputed before I move up to 140, right? He doesn't want to do that. We talked about it about 2 weeks ago when he said he wants $10 million to fight Devin Haney. For some reason, Devin Haney is a problem, right? My message is, Kambosos, what you need to do is you understand you have tons of leverage versus Teofimo Lopez. He's going to fight you, right? And he doesn't want Devin Haney, so ask for a whole lot of money. Just like Sergey Kovalev got from Canelo Alvarez. Because Canelo Alvarez was supposed to fight also, same thing, an undisputed fight against Demetrius Andrade on his September date. He wants to fight on September. That's his date. Mexican holidays. Everybody, no one excluded, everybody didn't talk about him versus Demetrius Andrade for undisputed in the middleweight division. What happened? They ignored it. Couldn't get Kovalev because he's fighting Anthony Yarde in September. So what Canelo do? I ain't going to fight in September because I definitely ain't fighting Demetrius Andrade. So I'm going to wait on Kovalev and pay him a whole lot of money. Wasn't it about $12 million or something? You see what I'm saying? When they don't want to fight somebody, Demetrius Andrade and Devin Haney got something in common. Badass, undefeated brothers. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get real here. Bad, undisputed brothers, then undefeated brothers who we ain't given the opportunity to be undisputed. That's what's going to happen. It's simple as that. All this talking around, that is the problem. And they're not even KO artists. It's like we embarrass people artists, right? And so we don't have to fight them. And that's what keeps going on, right? Let me move to something else. You're talking about Anthony Joshua. Let me move to that. Anthony Joshua, heavyweight division, right? Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn, they want Alexander Usyk, who is boxing royalty, to step aside so he can fight Tyson Fury. He's undisputed in an undisputed fight. So we can, I want to fight undisputed. Tyson Fury, can you step aside? Right? And if not, Eddie Hearn said, well, shoot, then we'd have to just vacate all the belts and we're going to fight Tyson Fury. Now, my problem with that is just this simple. That energy was not there when you were doing the negotiations with Deontay Wilder for undisputed. It just wasn't there. We all of a sudden Povetkin got pushed in there, and no one was telling Povetkin to step aside, or we're gonna pay him to step aside, or hey, get out of the way for undisputed. It just wasn't there. Anybody that says it was is lying, blatantly lying. Wasn't there then. All of a sudden, undisputed wasn't that important then, right? And that for me, it is. Speaking of Deontay Wilder, another thing I don't like. The boxing world is ignoring that he could have possibly been hurt, a dent in his head, right? And could have possibly gotten hurt with some gloves. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with people doubting that Tyson Fury did something with his gloves, doubting that he put egg weights in there, doubting that he didn't have his gloves on correctly and stuff like that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. You can doubt. You know what I'm saying? You innocent to proven guilty. But what I don't like is that no one wants to investigate it, because Tyson is not a first-time offender. You understand? He's just not a first-time offender. He's done tons of things, and we don't have to get into them in this particular video, but everyone knows he has history doing exactly this with the gloves. And then you put the doping and the cocaine and all the other craziness on top of it, then you have a guy who should at least be investigated. That's something I don't like. Double standard. I can't feel that. Speaking of double standards, let's go to another one. Then we got a legend, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's a legend. He about to fight Conor McGregor, right? Mega fight with Conor McGregor. Was that what it was called when Mayweather was about to fight Conor McGregor? A mega fight? It was a fight that shouldn't happen, a fight that's going to harm boxing. Matter of fact, when they were so hypocritical on this, Golden Boy was like, man, it's going to be messed up for boxing. Hey, but you know what? You can fight me. It's gonna be messed up, man. He messed up boxing. He can't be doing nothing like that. But you know what? You can fight my man, Canelo Alvarez. Bob Arum doing the same thing. He was offering Pacquiao services then, but first he's telling me Floyd Mayweather shouldn't do it, and then but Pacquiao could do it. Hypocritical, but they want no brother making no money. Speaking of that, takes me to what I'm trying to say. It's the DSA. It's the Divided States of America. That's what it is. It should be East and West America. Bottom line, all this trying to be together stuff should be over. Shouldn't be. It's not going to be united. And forget it ain't. It should be East America because the people that act like that, they should have to deal with the repercussions. They shouldn't be reaping what Americans are getting, talking about foreign policy and how how people view America, right? And how I want to do and trade with America and this and that. But I don't think they would have that if basically Texas already said they want to secede, which means we want to have our own country. So you put Texas and anybody else who want to go with them and make it East America, right? And then have to deal with you because you're gonna have some people that's gonna want to deal with you. You can steal. North Korea's gonna deal with you, Russia gonna deal with you, and a few others. But we shouldn't have that. We should just cut it off and stop all this trying to be together. If somebody's willing to accept some of the stuff that's going on, then damn it, you're in a different country. Ask yourself this: if you're an American, do you want to be called the same thing as some of these people? Is that what you want? You want the same name to title in front of your name as them people? I don't think you do. And that's why boxing has the same problem. That's why when we were telling people, about Deontay Wilder or other fighters who are not getting their just due and being avoided, that is what it is. Anybody that voted for Trump or were going to go up on Congress and do what they did, right? Do you think they give a damn about Deontay Wilder or any of the Negro League fighters I'm talking about? Basically, do you think they care about Demetrius Andrade not getting the shot, or Terrence Crawford not being regarded as who he should be, right? Anything like that? Hell no. So it is what it is. It's the DSA, baby. It is what it is. So let's get boxing together. It's corrupt, and the bottom line is this: if it's getting on your nerves like it's getting on mine, you just don't watch it. The fights that happen that I know shouldn't be happening, I don't watch. I can't come on here and say, hey, let's go watch Canelo versus anybody other than Andrade and Charlo. Ain't happening. For me, Andrade and Charlo. There's some other ones that, you can fight Benavidez if you get around to it now, right? Better be of and Bivol and all that. But no, because Andrade and Charlo for 5 or 6 years. Anything other than that, man ain't getting watched. The day after or something maybe because it's just sport. But, you have to take a stand. And this is what it is right now. Because it's getting to be too blatant. The WBC president is just acting a fool in the last 2.5 years. Just acting a fool. When Canelo can go run anywhere and he's just bringing a belt for him to give to him. Man, you can't, no. Just no is the point here. So, I ain't feeling good, man. But maybe that's why I got an attitude. So let me just get up off here while I still can. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.